Hey there, JJ. How are you doing today?
Well, I'm good, Michelle, but let me tell you, school was an adventure. Hmm.
Oh no, you had a bad week.
Well, it's those new twins again, Rami and Remy, and they are always trying to cause trouble. I tell you, they're going to take the mantle from Timmy.
Oh no, JJ, these two. What are we gonna do with them?
I know. And we had a substitute teacher, Mrs. Hindsight. And yes, Rami and Remy thought it would be really funny to play tricks on Mrs. Hindsight. So they said, hey, let's have all the golden retrievers sit in the wrong seats.
Oh, JJ, that wasn't very nice.
Well, of course it's not nice. I mean, she'd get confused. Those pups are all hatched from the same egg, Michelle. And I mean, I barely can tell them apart, and I grew up with them all. And she wanted, or I should say, they wanted these dogs to do things like, well, say she called on Lady. Well, Lady was supposed to say, well, I'm Trevor. And then if she called on Trevor, Trevor was supposed to say, well, I'm Laddie. And if Laddie was called on, he's supposed to say, well, I'm Lady. And I tell you that those pups didn't want to do it. They did not, but, well, they wouldn't do it. But Rami and Remy got really sore about it.
Oh, oh no. What did they do?
Well, finally I looked at them. I said, look, they're not going to do it. And why would you want them to do it? And they said, JJ, she's not our real teacher. We don't have to listen to her.
Oh, JJ, that's not the way to look at things. Wow. I guess your class was really arguing over how to handle that, weren't they?
Yes, it got into quite the brouhaha.
Oh, I can imagine. Well, JJ, back in the time of Jesus, there was quite the brouhaha too. Did you know that?
No, really?
Yeah. Today's story is about the apostles and the disciples and the early Christians, the people that were sharing the news of Jesus with others. Oh, JJ, they had a big argument in today's story, a big argument. Because
Hmm.
think about it, Jesus had lived with them all those years, taught them how to live. And then he died on the cross, remember? And then he rose again and was resurrected. And he was with them a little bit more, telling them how to live. And then he ascended to heaven. Remember, the disciples watched him go up into the clouds. So then the disciples and the followers of Jesus were all by themselves. Jesus was gone. And this is when the arguments happen because they had a lot of unanswered questions, JJ. And one of them was, do you first have to be a Jew before you can be Christian? Because JJ, Jesus grew up Jewish. So they're like arguing over this and they couldn't figure out the answer, just like your class is having an argument.
But I don't understand. I mean, hadn't Jesus told them this?
Well, no, Jesus didn't tell them a lot. There were so many things they didn't know how to approach, but when Jesus was with them, Jesus did show them how to live, remember?
Oh, yes,
And
yes, yes, yes.
I actually put it together. I put some of these things here that I can show you. Let me pull it up on the screen. So these are some of the things that Jesus
Ooh.
taught them about how to live. So remember, Jesus taught, love God above all else. Jesus taught, love your neighbor as yourself. And that means all people, even your enemies, JJ. Jesus taught them to not worry. Don't worry. Jesus said, be humble. Think about yourself less and others more. And then Jesus left them with this really great quote. I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. And that's written in John chapter 14, verse 6.
Ooh.
Pretty amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, and
Now,
I know that verse, Michelle. I know it tells us to believe in Jesus, and that is what makes you a Christian.
yes, that's right. Believe in Jesus, and that's what makes you a Christian. And JJ, that is actually the quote that solved the argument of those early Christians. Can you believe that? That quote right there. Because they realized that the only thing you had to do to be a Christian was to believe and love Jesus. That's it. It didn't matter if you were Jewish or not. It didn't matter if you followed their rules. All you had to do was love Jesus, and you were a Christian. Isn't that great?
That is great, but I wish it was that easy for me and my classmates to solve our arguments.
Well, maybe it is, JJ. What the disciples and the early Christians did is they took a step back and they looked at what Jesus had taught them, and that's where they found the answer. So your argument with your classmates we need to take a look at this little thing here.
Ooh,
This is the poster in your classroom, isn't it? These
how did you
are,
get?
I'm
No,
pretty
man.
magic. I have connections, JJ. But your teacher taught all of you in your class that this is how you behave in class, right? So she taught you to be respectful to all, to come to class prepared, to do your best, have a winning attitude, and have fun and learn. So tell me, JJ, is there anything here in what your teacher taught you that would help your classroom with your argument?
Uh, well, honestly, yes. Be respectful to all. I mean, all means everybody, including substitute teachers,
Mm-hmm.
and also have a winning attitude. I mean, come on now. Having a great attitude means having a great attitude with everybody, not just because you have to, because they're your quote unquote real teacher, that kind of thing.
That's right, JJ. Those are great answers. So if you remind your class of what your teacher taught you, maybe your argument will be solved. That's a great plan. So you know what, JJ? This works with all of us in all of our lives. When we have a disagreement with someone we need to take a step back and we need to look at the big picture and remember what we were taught by Jesus and those important to us. And that helps us to find the answer.
Wow, wow. That's really great, you know? And I think if we say this to Rami and Remy, maybe they'll actually listen.
Let's hope for that. Yes, JJ. Well, you have a good afternoon, and I can't wait to hear how this turns out.
Well, you have a good afternoon too, Michelle. And you guys out there, you have a good afternoon. And remember, be respectful, have a winning attitude, be like Jesus wants you to be.
Oh, I love it. All right, JJ, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.